Now then, first of all, just want to apologise for no videos over the weekend. Bad news came this weekend, bad news. So as you can see, I just wasn't in the mood to do any videos over the weekend. It really put me out of it, and that's why there was nothing. Hello and welcome back to the Leeds United FM20 save. Hope you're all doing well today, and all jokes aside, obviously the reason I didn't make videos over the weekend wasn't because Raja Nainggolan has now left Leeds United to go to be the Ipswich boss. The real reason was I just wasn't feeling great, and making videos and stuff just was the last thing I wanted to do basically. Obviously over the weekend as well, it was World Mental Health Day, and whilst I've never really, I don't think ever had like mental health problems or anything like that. Everyone does suffer from some sort of, being down from time to time, things like that. And I don't know, maybe that was just a bit over the weekend, but just didn't feel like doing stuff and things like that. So just took the weekend off to just binge watch Prison Break. But I do know that mental health is a big thing for a lot of people, and it's not easy to talk about. I know, because I am terrible at talking about feelings and things like that. I'm rubbish at it, but I do want to just say to everyone who's watching this right now, obviously link down in the description which takes you to the Discord server. Basically, we've got a big community of people there who all watch, well, hopefully all still watch my videos and things like that. And everyone is really nice, and I think that is a really good platform for people to just reach out and just be like, hey, not feeling so great today, blah, 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 blah. I don't know, something like that. Blah, 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 blah sounds very insensitive. But you know what I'm trying to say. Everyone in there is very like-minded, and I feel like it's a very good place to go to if you do feel like you just want to talk to someone. Because it's easy to talk to people that you don't know, I feel sometimes. I feel like it's easy to express problems to people that you don't know. And there's always people there willing to talk about. You can always send me a message on there and things like that as well. So there you go. Bit of a different way to start an episode, but welcome back. Hope you're all doing well. Looking forward to another week of videos. Plenty of stuff coming up today. We've got Watford and Liverpool in the Premier League right at the end of the January transfer window, which is quite exciting, although this January transfer window hasn't been particularly exciting. As you saw at the start of the episode, our under-18s assistant manager, Raja Nainggolan, has left to become the Ipswich main manager, which is understandable, really. Obviously, we're now in 2024, so a new year has rolled around, and that means awards are given out. And Tomiyasu, our right back, has been given the Asian Footballer of the Year, which is very impressive. Congratulations to you, Tomiyasu. Fantastic stuff. Obviously, there was a lot of talk about European Golden Boy and European Under-21 Player of the Year that we, had seen lots of our players be mentioned for. The winner of that in the end for the Under-21 Footballer of the Year was Joe Gelhardt, who we've just sold to Liverpool. So annoyingly, that says Liverpool on his record, despite in that year not really playing for Liverpool much at all. Annoyingly, he's done very, very well for Liverpool, but he hasn't played for them much, played for us more. So I'm a little bit confused, or not confused. I know it's obviously Liverpool because he's playing for them right now, but annoyed that it doesn't say Leeds on there as opposed to Liverpool. So one of our players technically did win, but technically didn't win it. And then on European Golden Boy, lots of our players were nominated for that, but Baby from Atletico Madrid ended up winning that one instead. So that brings us into the January transfer window, and obviously, I'd said to you guys that I really wanted to bring Ryan Sessegnon into the club, and basically Tottenham are just saying no to everything. I've put in a stupid offer here. This is the stupid offer that I put in, £130 million. They rejected £130 million, so we're just not going to get Ryan Sessegnon, unfortunately. In a similar vein, thought I'd go for Harvey Barnes, but Leicester wanted £55 million, and then he wanted a huge contract as well for a player who's probably not really worth that kind of money, so we didn't go for him in the end either. So actually there's been no ins this entire transfer window so far. You may know of Sixto Montoya. He's a Cuban attacking midfielder that we brought into the club. He came up and said, I've got an issue, I need a new contract. So I said, okay, let's get you a new contract. Went to offer him a new contract, and apparently he didn't want a new contract when I went to offer him one, which was really, really weird. It annoyed me a little bit, I must say. So he's been sold. He's gone to Aston Villa after that, because obviously we couldn't offer him a contract. He got very cross that we didn't offer him a contract, even though we tried to, and he said, no, I don't want a contract. He got cross, said he wanted to leave the club, so that's why he has now gone to Villa for £3.2 million. What that has done, though, is helped us solve a little bit of an issue, because he's gone, which then gets rid of that foreign player spot. So Nasi Unava has come back to the club from his loan to Besiktas. It was, I've clicked on the wrong player here as well. Başakşehir. I knew it was a Turkish team. Başakşehir. He was on loan there. He's come back now for the rest of the season and is obviously registered into the team as well, which is great. So if we do need him, we can play him, and we do need a left winger. So I'm glad that Nasi is now here, because when Bergwijn has been injured, we had to play Holozek on that left hand side. But Holozek is now out for 3 months with a broken ankle. So we're lacking him. We're losing him, which is very upsetting because he's probably he's the top goal scorer in the club this season. So he's been the one scoring the goals. So that obviously means we need a new striker as well coming into the club, at least on loan for the rest of this season. It's been a very boring transfer window, I must say. Not an awful lot going on. And obviously the deals we have tried to do have been far too expensive for the actual quality of player. So we'll have to save this money and try and invest it in summer. In terms of results since you guys were last here, actually, they've been pretty decent, I must say. You guys were last here, I believe it was for the Man United and Lyon game. Well, since then, we've played a whole host of games and only lost one of them, which was a 4-0 defeat to Manchester City, which wasn't great. And we followed that up, actually, with 2 draws. And that was the worst bit of form we've been in all season. 1-1 with Everton and 2-2 with Liverpool. But all the other games, apart from a 0-0 draw with Arsenal, we've won, which is amazing. Again, the scorelines have been not great, although we are starting to score a couple more goals. 3 against Sheffield United, 3 against Brighton, 3 against Crystal Palace. So it's better than the 2 other ones that we've been getting earlier on in the season. In terms of the league table, we stay 3rd place, actually. We are doing so well. We are still really difficult to beat. As you can see, only 2 losses all season. But we are drawing more games than the teams around us as well. We're just looking at Man City have lost 6 games, for example, whereas we've only lost 2. So we're still in a good position, still in those Champions League places. We are 9 points clear of Tottenham in 5th. And if we can just keep this going until the end of the season, it's looking pretty good for us. So with that all being said, we'll just play the final few days of this transfer window where we should have a striker coming in on loan. I've put some bids out and one player was pretty keen to join us. Todibo now injured for 2 to 4 weeks. We are dropping like flies, some of our players. It's not great at the moment as League Cup action with Liverpool and Man City, which Liverpool go on to win, so they go to a final for a 2nd year in a row. Watford are coming up now. Hopefully this loan player comes in before the Watford game because it'd be handy to have them in the squad basically for this game. But it doesn't look like it's going to happen before then. And they can't play against Liverpool because we're bringing them in from Liverpool. Here he is. He has finally decided to sort himself out. Ryan Brewster is coming, or Ryan Brewster. Is it Ryan or Ryan? I'm not quite sure. Either way, he's coming into the squad for the remainder of the season to hopefully add a bit more firepower to us now that Holozek's injured. 15 dribbling, 16 finishing, 14 first touch, I think is pretty decent. Obviously, I feel like pace and acceleration could be a little bit better, but 15 and 16 isn't too bad. I think for what we need, he will do a job for us. Has got 6 goals and 17 appearances so far for Liverpool, which is very, very good. 7 last season as well. So knows where the back of the net is in the previous 2 seasons, so hopefully he can do that for us as well. This is something we need to talk about as well. Farinez apparently is in his final year of his contract, and I think he does want to sign a new one. The thing is, I don't want to give him a new contract. Like I said before, we've got 2 number 1s in the squad and he's costing us a lot of money and he's not played any games so far this season. So I feel like we probably should get rid, but he's a very good backup to have in case we do get an injury. How much does he want on a contract? Well, he wants a big wage rise, which is not great. He wants to be an important player, but he needs to be a cup keeper for us. Obviously, he wants to win silverware, so do we, so we might leave that in there and want to strengthen midfielders. Well, let's just remove that because I can't do that right now. And he's going to reject this, isn't he? He's not going to want this. He wants to be an important player. Can we say first? I don't want to say first choice because he's not first choice, is he? He's backup at that. And so I feel like we have to let him go. But it's annoying because Man City want him, which means that they obviously rate him quite highly. But I'd rather get a little bit of money for him than nothing at all in 6 months' time. So let's try and push this up to like 3 million and 1. In fact, 3.5 and 1.5 suggest that. They're happy to pay £5 million for him, so that's good. Also in the same boat is Oliver. He's leaving the club already because he signed a contract with Lazio like ages ago, which is not really fine, is it? I'd rather get money for him, but Farinez and Oliver looking likely to leave the club. So this is the team lining up against Watford. Van Voort starts in goal, as we've just been talking about, with Nuri, Varnia, Gomez and Tomiyasu starting the back line. Thomas Taylor and Valenzuela through the middle. Bergwijn on the left. Brewster is going to start on the right today because Renier is currently with Brazilian under-23s for the Olympic qualification, which is a little bit annoying, but he's playing with Brazil right now. We would play Onino, but Brewster can play right wing. So let's give him a little shot, and I've just noticed he's on 82% condition, which isn't great. So actually, let's put him on the bench, and we'll have to start Onino for this one. And then, of course, Bartol, with 10 goals this season, leads the line. So, kickoff is upon us. We need to get a good victory here today. We need to keep the momentum going. The more wins we can get now, the less pressure there is on the end of the season to win all the games. If we start losing them and we want top 4 football next season, or want to finish top 4 to get Champions League next season, I should say, we want to try and win all the games as early as possible. So, if we do start to slip up at the end of the season, because we've not slipped up at all this season, really. We've not had a bad bit of form, and that just makes you think that that bad bit of form is coming at some point. And the later it gets into the season, obviously it's going to come at the end of the season. That's my thinking, at least, unless we never have one, but it's likely that we will do. So I want us to get as many wins as possible so we can try and secure some top 4 football before we start to slip up a little bit as Bartol puts his header just wide. Of course, Boga's playing for Watford. He never really wanted to sign a contract with us, so he went to Watford instead for some reason, rather than deciding to stay with us. A little bit weird, but he's obviously having a lovely time at Watford. Free kick for us as Varnia puts it into Joe Gomez as we play it around at the back. As a nice ball out to Bergwijn. He cuts inside across to Onino. Onino into the area. Can he put it across the 6-yard box? He does. Bergwijn's there and it's cleared, but only as far as Bergwijn, who gets the rebound, shoots into an empty net, and we have a goal. Very good play from Onino there. Good to put that ball across the area, and not quite sure. The keeper had a huge jump there, and I feel like the ball came off the keeper back into Bergwijn there, and the keeper just was going mental, really. But we moved to second place in the table with that goal, because I assume Liverpool haven't kicked off their game yet, which is why we've gone ahead of them. But it's good to know that we're right up there with them. And to be fair, only a point off. If United lose their game in hand that they have on us after this game, then we are only 1 point behind them at the top of the table, which is absolutely mad, to be fair. It's even more mad knowing that we haven't really changed that much this season. Like, we've changed a couple defenders and a winger, and that's about it, really. We're scoring way less goals, but I guess because we're just not conceding any goals, basically, that's all different, isn't it? It's difficult to get my head around it, because I feel like we're just not playing as well this season going forward, but obviously defensively we're doing so much better, we're making up for it and more. So whilst I'm very pleased that we are defending superbly well, I always get this bit of empty feeling saying, oh, we've only won that game 1-0. Last season we'd win that like 3-0. Well, it wouldn't be 3-0, it'd be like 3-2 or something like that. But I like scoring goals. I'm a striker myself. Whenever I played football, I was always a striker. So if I don't see a high score line, I get a bit, it's annoying me. But talking about how well we are defensively, we have not let Watford have a shot yet in this game in 60 minutes, which is so impressive, really. Because Watford are 8th in the table. Like, they are a good team. We just brought Joe Gomez in, and we brought in, obviously, Aït-Nouri, and those two have just transformed that back line. I'm not quite sure how they've done it, but they've worked some magic, and they've done very well as Bergwijn gets his second of the game. 2-0 to us. We're winning this game. Free kick for Watford. Is this going to be their first shot on target, or are they going to try and cross it as Curtis Jones takes it? He does, and he scores, to be fair. Fair play. 1 shot, 1 goal for Watford. Maybe we're not winning this just yet. But we now have a free kick at the other end of the pitch, which Valenzuela is going to put in the back of the net. Their keeper was nowhere near to it. 7 for the season now for him, which is incredible. He might overtake Alenya's 10 goals from last season at this rate as well. So Valenzuela, keep going. Kind of want to give Brewster like 20 minutes at the end of the game. So we'll take Bartol off for Brewster just to give him a little run out and see what he can do. Calvin Phillips will also come on for Taylor. And there the changes. And can Brewster get a goal on his debut here today? It would be great if he could do, coming off the bench. Is that Tyler Roberts, who used to play for us? I think it is Tyler Roberts, who's just come off the bench for Watford there. Obviously a great player for us, but just wasn't going to take us to that next level that we needed to. Although saying that, he did score quite a few goals for us. So maybe we could be using him this season to find some goals, because no one else likes scoring all that much this season. As Curtis Jones puts another good ball in the middle. 2 shots for Watford, or 3 shots apparently, but 2 shots on target, 2 goals. That's not a great ratio. We just need to hold on now for another 5 minutes or so, and then we'll be given the 3 points. At the end of the day, the 3 points is all that matters as the clock ticks down. There we go. 3 points on the board. We move up to second in the table. We're very happy. So interestingly, Valenzuela has just won Player of the Month, but has only come runner-up in Young Player of the Month. If that's the case, surely this guy should have won Player of the Month as well as Young Player of the Month. I don't quite get that. Because if Valenzuela is so good that he's won Player of the Month for the whole division, why has he not won Young Player of the Month? At least I've won Manager Month, which is very impressive. Always difficult to play in January. So to get Manager Month in January is very good. And obviously, historically as well, our Januaries have always been terrible now I think about it. So very, very good for us. But now we do have a very tough test in a game against Liverpool. Unfortunately, Bruce, obviously coming from Liverpool, can't play in this one because of rules and regulations. Obviously, Renier's not back from international duty yet, and Holozek is injured, so Nino will still start on that right wing. I think we'll bring Calvin Phillips on for Taylor, but other than that, I think we leave the side as it was. So, if I'm honest with you, I think this is the third defeat of the season incoming. We drew with Liverpool at the start of January, but we were playing at home then, and Liverpool did have a lot more shots than us. We got very lucky not to lose that game, really, as Liverpool already trying to assert themselves on this game. This time, Liverpool are the team playing at home. They have a lot better players than us, and really they should be winning this as Jake Vokin scores his first of the season. It'll be interesting to see if Gelhardt is playing in this game. I'm not sure if he doesn't play every game. He plays some and has scored a few goals, to be fair, Joe Gelhardt, but doesn't play every single game because they've got a very, very good team, this Liverpool side. He is currently not playing. They've gone for Barbosa today, but I imagine he'll be on the bench, where he's had a good start for Liverpool. 7 goals and 13. It's good, isn't it? It's not bad. But just remember, we got £75 million for him, and he's not going to improve that much more in the future. Although saying that, he scores plenty of goals, so it doesn't matter, does it really, too much? You could have 6 finishing, but if you score 20 goals in the Premier League, you're a top quality striker. Liverpool looking to come forward again, this time through Trent Alexander-Arnold, who puts the ball in from wide, gets it into Gabriel Barbosa, cleared, but only as far as Naby Keita, gets it back to Trent, who can put another good ball into the middle, because he's so good at delivering balls. Salah does it instead, and Origi gets the goal. I don't think we should be too surprised. We did think this was going to be happening. Obviously, playing at Liverpool is so much harder than them playing us at our place. They dominated us when we played them at home. We just got very lucky with 2 goals, really, I should say, in that game. And I think this one is going to be a lot more conclusive for Liverpool. Saying that though, Onino is coming forward, gets it into Bartol Barisic, and Bartol takes it out wide. Can he put the ball across? He does, only as far as Thomas, who launches one over the bar. Unlucky son. And that is half time for us. 2-0 down to Liverpool. We'll try and do something about it in the second half. Against big clubs, sometimes we just can't do much at all. I'll be honest with you. Obviously, we lost 4-0 to Man City in one of the games off camera as well, which was a bit of a bad one to watch. We're not doing quite so badly here. Only 2-0 down with 20 minutes or so to go. The thing is, just because of injuries and, I'll be honest, actually, a little bit of a lack of strength in the depth, we're not doing quite so well this season in terms of having options to bring in off the bench. I would prefer it if we had some stronger bench players to bring on. So we have to try and work on that next season. Nassi is going to come on for Bergwijn. He's done nothing. Valenzuela's had a poor game, which is quite unusual for him, actually. So we'll bring on Carlos Alenia for him. And with 15 minutes or so to go, we've got a throw-in, which Phillips is going to put into the middle. Clear, but only as far as Carlos Alenia, who shoots, goes to Nassi, who shoots, hits the crossbar. That's the closest we've come all game, hitting the crossbar. Nassi could have made it 2-1. But unfortunately, I think it's just going to be a little too late, really. I think that's kind of what it's going to be. We'll go attacking and things like that, because we may as well at this stage. We're losing 3-1 now. That's nothing to do with me going attacking, because I've literally just clicked on it then. So that's nothing to do with me going attacking there. 3-0 down. I'm not 3-1. I think it's a 3-1, which isn't great, obviously. We'd rather be closer to Liverpool, but you know, there's a reason they've won every single Premier League title since the save file has started. They are ridiculously good. And with that, they also go top of the table as well. So congratulations on another league title, Liverpool, probably. So obviously not quite the desired result that we would have wanted, but we go forward with our heads held high that we're still in the top 4. Next episode, we will do both legs of the Europa League second knockout round and, of course, Crystal Palace 2. We could be coming up against any one of these sides. The first knockout round is still to be played, which is why we've not had a draw for anything yet, but obviously you'll find out next episode. It would be good if some of the smaller teams could get through. That would make our lives a little bit easier. Teams like your Hajduk Splits, your Red Stars. I do apologise to people who are fans of those clubs, or Standard Liège, but you know, I'd rather face them than Roma or Monaco or Leipzig. But either way, that is it for today's episode. So thank you very much for watching. Massively appreciate it, and hopefully I will see you all very soon. So have a wonderful evening. Goodbye.